devoting more and more time to hiring and onboarding and development. At the end of the day, though, it's really about productivity. Productivity meaning are folks able to sell things. So what we want to look at today is how some organizations, more progressive, have put in place processes to empower teams to close deals quicker, better, faster. And I'm really delighted to introduce Alex Grabansky is the co-founder and CEO of Docurated. Alex was previously the CEO of Frontier Strategy Group. Prior to FSG, Alex was a consultant at the Boston Consulting Group, where his work focused on the natural resources sector. Also worked in strategic positions with Last Cloud and EMC. He holds a BS in financial engineering from Stanford University and studied international relations and globalization at Magdalen College, Oxford University. Alex?
Thank you so much for that introduction. It's really an honor and a privilege to be presenting in front of this great audience of inside sales leaders. So we're really excited to share what we've learned. So Docurated is essentially we provide a connectivity layer between sales, marketing professionals, and all users and their content. And as part of our work, we really have the opportunity to collect an inordinate amount of data about the productivity challenges and issues that sales and marketing folks have. We put all this data and insight into our first annual sales productivity report, which has some really insightful data points which I think are going to be useful to all of you as you finish out the rest of the year and as you think about how to grow your sales and onboard more sales folks to get more out of the resources that you have today. At a high level, what's really been interesting is, the more it seems like we put into driving productivity and sales enablement initiatives, the more we invest, we've actually seen often the reverse happening, and sales folks are still complaining about not being able to get the resources and tools they need to get their jobs done. And that's kind of one of the key learnings of our report. We'll talk a little about why that is happening, and also share with you some of our recommendations of what we see some leading organizations do. If we go to the next slide, please. Great. As part of my work, one of the funnest things I get to do is travel and with professionals like yourselves to understand some of their pain points and challenges. And when I meet with sales leaders, I hear a number one is how can we get our reps to actually spend more time selling as opposed to doing things like entering data into CRM, searching for content, reinventing old decks, searching for information that already exists. And one of the things that we uncovered in our report is that reps are spending often as much as 60 to 70% of their time on non-revenue generating activities, which obviously takes away from the time that they're spending with the customers, that they could be spending prospecting, closing more deals. And that's obviously a huge productivity gain. And we'll talk a little about why we see that happening and what can be done about it. One of the insights we saw in our report is, we talked to most sales leaders, and the number one priority, not surprisingly, is increasing revenue. With the economy improving, revenue targets have become significantly more aggressive, so the pressure is really on to deliver. Now more than ever, there's really high expectations for sales and inside sales leaders. At the same time, however, it's a bit of a paradox because from an investment area perspective, we're not necessarily always seeing kind of a huge focus on increasing revenue and how do we drive more and more productivity with sales folks. There's obviously a focus on bringing in more and more people, but we don't always see that focus on how do we make the people that we have much more productive, much more effective, and efficient. And we are seeing, however, a lot of leading organizations, both technology space and media space, really focusing on making significant investments on one key area that we find is, and that is really reducing the ramp time that it takes reps to become more productive. So how do we accelerate the ramp of folks? How do we get that ramp to go down from 6 or 7 months down to 3 or 4 months? And that's definitely see see that as a big investment area that we see happening in the market. If we go to the next slide. So we then asked a lot of our clients and survey participants, what are the key drivers of winning new customers? We of course are living in a very different age today than even 5 years ago. Buyers are more educated. Sales and marketing in general is obviously going through a massive transformation where buyers are incredibly well educated. Many buyers have already figured out kind of their specific questions and have made their decisions or have gone a significant way in making their decisions before they even come to your website and express interest in your product. So in this kind of framework, what are some of the key drivers in winning new customers? The feedback we got was really interesting. It's really, number one, and this is really not surprising, is 83% of companies reported really high quality content as a top driver of winning new customers. So that's over 4/5 of the survey respondents. And about close to 60% also mentioned the speed of response was also a key driver. So let's kind of think about those two things. Number one, why is high quality content important? Well, buyers are more educated. They're looking to learn and specifically understand your value. So the key, of course, is not to just give your buyer, generic content, but those organizations that are winning are able to deliver very specific and tailored content in a scalable way to their prospects. And that often has a pretty significant impact on conversion rates and overall revenue. The second piece, of course, is there are a lot of competing solutions in the market. All of us are dealing with existing and new competitors. So the speed of delivering that information back to clients is also key. You're even a couple days behind, that can be the difference between winning or losing a deal. So it's both quality and effectiveness of content delivered to customers and speed of delivering that content that are cited as two of the key drivers in this new era. And of course, part of the challenge is how do you do this in a scalable and repeatable way? And of course, we know that our top 5 and 10% reps are going to do a great job with this, but how do you get that middle 60 to 70% to do this in a scalable, repeatable way? And again, we've seen a lot of companies deploying new, innovative solutions that are specifically optimized for helping reps get that content to their prospects in a tailored and personalized way very, very quickly. Next slide, please. So what's really been kind of interesting and somewhat surprising to us is talk to sales leaders, all the way up and down the organization. Marketing is producing more and more content than ever. There's huge, millions and billions of dollars that are being poured into marketing content automation and marketing investments. But on the one hand, if you talk to average reps, you talk to sales leadership like yourself, most people will still say, listen, our people can't find that right information. And nearly 2/3 of folks pointed out the inability to find content as being one of their biggest obstacles to achieving their revenue goals. We're finding reps are spending close to 6.5 hours per week searching for content. That's almost 1 day a week, depending on the work week, which is obviously just simply unacceptable, particularly given the investments that have been made in this area. We're also seeing a real sort of dichotomy of solutions out there in the market. A lot of organizations have deployed new cloud storage solutions, file sharing solutions. Others are still using legacy file servers. Many are working with Salesforce. But irrespective of what's actually being used, the feedback is still the same. Reps still can't get their hands on their content quickly enough and in a scalable way. And the other thing that is really scary is a lot of times reps have just given up. And in a number of cases we talked to reps that literally just given up looking for content. They start creating content themselves, which of course, A, that content is not going to be approved, but B, that's again taking time away from selling. What we're seeing is a lot of leading companies. What a lot of leading companies are doing is they are. So the natural approach is, okay, we're going to go out and buy another solution and try to implement something new. But what often ends up happening is we recreate the same mistakes that we made before. So some companies, what they're doing is they're basically keeping their content where it lives and then using intelligent solutions to enable that content to be surfaced really quickly and easily. And what that does is it really works seamlessly with people's workflows, and at the same time, protects people from making additional investments that are not going to pay off. Let's go to the next slide. Again, this is probably not going to be surprising, but the volume of content that's being managed by reps it's growing and it's massive. On average, an archive for an organization, the organizations that we've profiled have 200,000 documents. Some organizations have as small as a couple hundred documents, others have a million. And that volume of data is doubling nearly every year. So this really creates what we describe as kind of a digital landfill of content and information. And it really, in many ways, what we hear from folks is marketing is often just creating way too much content than sales can actually consume, which of course is really challenging. How do you deal with this problem? What are leading organizations doing with this? There are a couple of obviously options. One is you can try to prune the content, curate it down to a manageable amount of information, and that's obviously one approach. The problem is that's not really scalable. That's going to require ongoing work, and simply put, what happens if you actually really do need that chart or slide that you developed just a year or two ago that is going to work perfectly. Another approach that again we're seeing leading companies take is using sort of advanced analytics, kind of data science to pull out and surface content that is really most relevant. Not necessarily based on age, but based on a variety of different factors like how often it's utilized, how fresh is it, all of those things. So we're seeing some new technologies being deployed in the market that essentially help you, so to speak, find that needle in the haystack from across your hundreds of documents or thousands of documents. Simply put, the state of kind of technology that we see in the market is still very much kind of I would say in the Middle Ages in many ways. We're seeing a lot of organizations using very antiquated technology. Close to 80% of the organizations that we surveyed are still relying on file servers as kind of their primary content stores. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised by that because in many ways a lot of other more expensive solutions have actually failed. So there's nothing actually to kind of I don't want to poo-poo the file server, so to speak, because we see organizations investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in expensive content management systems only to see those fall flat on their faces. So file servers, they're not going to cost you that much, but they're obviously create a lot of inherent problems as far as knowledge management and people being able to find things. Of course, a lot of limitations, no version control, no permission setting, and getting content on the go becomes really difficult. So we're seeing organizations slowly starting to move away from file servers. The first natural step is considering kind of a file sharing solution. One word of caution you have for organizations is often the experience. There are some advantages to file sharing solutions, obviously. They give you mobile access. They let you share information both internally and externally in a more seamless way. But when we talk about the ability to connect to content and find the information that we need, in many ways, a lot of these cloud storage solutions suffer from the same challenges as the file server. They become sort of natural folder sprawl and kind of content that starts to grow out of hand very quickly. nature of file and folders. So yes, file servers still exist, but we are seeing some movement away from that. Those are some of the key insights that we learned in our report. Again, I really want to emphasize why should you care about this? What's really why does this matter to you? Well, if you looked up and down your team today, and I do this with our sales team as well, we all want to maximize the time that our reps are spending with customers and on revenue generating activity. And unfortunately, given the poor state of content in the sales world today, amongst other things, the manual state of CRM, reps are only spending about a third of their time selling and 2/3 of their time on admin tasks. So anything that we can do as managers and leaders to give our reps more time to sell, more time to engage with customers, is not only going to bring back more revenue, it's actually going to make those reps happier, more excited, and more likely to hit their quota. So, feel free to reach out to us. Reach out to me at alex@docurated.com. You can also download the entire full sales practice report on the link here. We also have another webinar coming up called Pitching Without the Sweaty Palms, talking about sales horror stories and how to avoid them. But I think there's one thing I can share with you is we've learned ourselves in our organization, as well as across many of our customers, is the focus on sales productivity and giving that time back to reps sell can really drive massive results from a top line perspective. So I really encourage everyone on the phone to look for ways to give more time back to your reps through new tools and innovative solutions, of which there are many out there.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. Anybody have any questions? And if you do, please go ahead and type them in the chat box, and we'll go ahead and get those answered. So I have a question, Alex. In your experience, when customers are coming to you, where are maybe the top one or two areas that they start when it comes to sales productivity?
Yep, absolutely. I think number one, content. So how can we empower our team with the content they need? So they're not spending those 6.5 hours searching for content or reinventing the content that already exists. And given the nature of our business, that's something that we're often talking to people about and really adding value. And we usually, if a company kind of deploys our solution or another solution, we're seeing within about 6 months, typical rep can see an increase of about 50 to 20% in their overall revenue. So that's a tremendous ROI in a very, very short amount of time. So I'd say that's part one. Part two, the other area that we're seeing around sales productivity is mobility, and ensuring that folks are able to do their work in our mobile world. So we are seeing organizations looking at mobile CRM, next generation CRM solutions that have been built for the mobile world that don't require the types of data entry that Salesforce, for example, requires today. So we are seeing those are kind of the two areas. So one is content, and number two is mobility.
Thank you. And there's something with the line that's breaking up a little bit, Alex. So I did get, it's a bummer, because I think it's talking about kind of next generation tools and how to use them a little bit more effectively. I joke with my team because it's a never-ending cycle with sales teams that say, please stop making me enter stuff into CRM. And I said the alternative is to microchip you. And I'm obviously joking, and HR is not present when I make that joke, but it's also talking about just how do we get reps focused on talking to the customer, making it easy for the company to capture the data and for them to use the tools to be successful. So it's interesting
Yeah, I mean, I think fortunately for the folks on the phone, I think we are seeing a lot of progress where over time I think there's going to be much less data entry and much less manual work that will have to be required of reps.
Yeah.
So imagine a world where your CRM is kind of automatically populated from your contacts, from your email, and content is essentially delivered to you. For those of you that are old enough, if you remember seeing the Minority Report, where Tom Cruise is standing in front of a big screen and he's able to pull the content he needs to kind of find certain suspects. Imagine a world like that in sales where you're just basically getting that seed of information based on your opportunity, based on where you are in the sales cycle. I think that world is not far off, and we're obviously driving a lot of innovation. There are lots of other companies doing that as well.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the next frontier is how do we get it all work together, because our smartphones do that, right? So if I connect my Outlook and Twitter and LinkedIn and everything else, I've got direct access. How do we create that same working environment for our teams? Completely agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Very good. All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead. I don't see any other questions popping up. Oh, we've got one that came in that says, what are some ways to motivate newer sales reps who aren't making commission quite yet? Any thoughts on that, Alex?
Sure. So, one of the things that I think it all depends, on how you structure your kind of your ramp period. So, for example, at Docurated, we're not expecting folks, to start being productive, for our typical ramp is about 3 months, because of the nature of our product. So, reps aren't really measured on commission. It's only in the 4th month that they start being expected to fulfill. So we typically do in those first 3 months is we have other sort of targets for them that are not, where they're able to earn commissions or incentives that are not specifically tied to revenue because of sales cycles, they're not going to have any revenue. So an example of that is, we usually always encourage a lot of our reps to do prospecting and generating demand. So we create incentives for our reps to do that where, okay, I get, if you're able to schedule 20 or identify 10 qualified opportunities, you'll get paid significant bonus. We also provide reps with incentives around getting qualified to sell the product, give a demonstration. So those are check boxes they have to fill, but they get paid on those. And that kind of gives them a way to ease in to becoming fully ramped.
Very good. Thank you. Very good. All right. Any other questions that we have? All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, be sure to join us for our next Training Tuesday, which will be September 9th. And we definitely look forward to chatting with you then. Alex, thank you so much for joining us today. It's always delightful to hear from industry leaders and some new ideas. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Gia. Thanks, Don.